I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with.
What?
You know, when I was here before I retired, I overshadowed Scottie a lot. You know, and he didn't get the recognition that he truly deserved.
In all the videos, you never just saw me. You saw Scottie Pippen.
As you accepted the trophy, you said to Scottie that he was your MVP. Scottie Pippen we're a tandem. It's hard to split us up. He means a lot to me when I go out and play on the basketball court. He relieves a lot of the pressure that I have to deal with. I try to do the same for him. It's hard to take this MVP by myself. He's got to take half of it. I take the trophy, he may get the call.
How do you want to be remembered?
That's the greatest of all time.
When it comes to the legacy and career of one Scottie Pippen, it's becoming increasingly more complicated, increasingly more difficult to judge this guy every single season, as Pippen himself makes comments nearly every single month bashing Jordan, bashing his coaches, and really bashing everyone except Scottie Pippen.
I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player.
I've been coaching for 40 years, and I have never seen anyone that can do the things that can create offensive situations the way Michael can.
All of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
But the important thing, it's still a team game. It's still a five-man concept as far as we're concerned with the Bulls, and Michael preaches this all the time. He'd much rather win the basketball game than to score a lot of points, I assure you.
And look, there may have been a time where Pippen as an individual player, he was kind of underrated, undervalued, and his contributions to the Bulls teams really weren't that widely known. But nowadays, Pippen's overall impact, I mean, if anything, it's overrated and overvalued, not only by Scottie, but by the NBA media.
Michael Jordan, before he got Scottie Pippen, never won a playoff series. You keep talking about how great he was, but how great was he without Scottie Pippen? Just a guy that put up a lot of stats.
Before Scottie Pippen got there, a total and complete loser.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
When you see someone like a Shannon Sharpe or Nick Wright just be so disingenuous and dishonest with their audience, it really is super frustrating. As the overall idea and notion of Scottie Pippen somehow saved Michael Jordan, it's absolutely asinine. As looking at Michael Jordan pre the NBA, this guy was highly accomplished and destined for greatness from really day one. As looking at his time at UNC, a national champion, All-American, blue chip prospect, and of course in 82, the game-winning bucket in the title game. 1984 Team USA not only won the gold medal, but versus NBA All-Stars like Isaiah, Bird, Magic, had a perfect 8-0 record. Long story short, Michael Jordan, by about 1986, everyone knew this guy. He was the next one up and the next great one to take over the 1990s.
He is by far the best guard in the league.
At the end of that game, we said, hey, this guy Michael, he's pretty darn good.
Michael was spectacular, and sometimes you get hot and you score a lot of points. But that day, in a playoff game in the Boston Garden, that was special.
Michael was very, very special. We all knew it. We all knew it after that game. And, 34 years later, he's still being considered the greatest player of all time.
And once again, looking at the Pippen save Jordan narrative, like a lot of these media talking points, they just lack tons of common sense as well as context. As looking at Pippen in 88, this guy was a rookie, a role player, and a bench player for the entire regular season. Michael Jordan, of course, the MVP, DPOY, scoring champ, and steals leader. Jordan debatably was the best player in the NBA. And looking at both Jordan and Pippen's first playoff game together, 1988 versus the Cavaliers, Game 1 in Chicago. Michael Jordan, 50 points. Scottie Pippen off the bench, put up a donut.
0.0.
Contrary to the media narrative of Scottie Pippen, he wasn't prime Pippen from day one, and 88 was far from it. And to give you guys a better perspective on this, Michael Jordan Game 1 versus the Cavaliers, his overall game score was 34.2. In Scottie's entire playoff career, his highest game score was 31.9. Michael Jordan from day one with Scottie Pippen in the playoffs was better than Pippen at his best in his best game ever. And of course, looking at games 2 and 4, Jordan in those games also had a higher game score than Pippen ever had in his playoff career.
You just blew my mind.
If you say Pippen saved Jordan from day one, just made him an entirely different player, changed the Bulls franchise, you in fact are overrating Scottie and undervaluing Michael Jordan. As looking at Jordan this series, 45.2 points per game on 55.9% shooting, compared to Pippen, averaged more points, boards, assists, steals, and blocks. Scottie's best game this series, it came in Game 5 in Chicago, a do-or-die game for the first round. And Scottie this game had a very impressive outing, scoring 24 points, a season high. Now here's the catch. Yes, Pippen was playing well, playing very good, and out of his mind. But in the fourth quarter would foul out, forcing MJ to close the deal by himself, and of course, win the series.
It's a foul on Scottie Pippen, and that's his 6th foul.
Pippen fouls out. Jordan 11 of 14 from the line by Mark Price. He has 4. He's 13 of 16 from the line and 37 points in the game.
That'll be the biggest
to tie. Timeout. But the Bulls can start to celebrate.
Ball game.
So that right there is pretty clear-cut and simple. Pippen at 88 was not prime Pippen, not even close to it. As of course games 1 through 4 was coming off the bench, and even in game 5 where he played really well, fouled out of this game forcing Jordan to close it by himself. And that right there for the Pippen-Jordan duo is one thing that's overlooked constantly. Yes, these guys had great chemistry and synergy on both ends of the floor. But in the fourth quarter, the big time moments, the clutch time moments, it was Michael Jordan's time to shine. He had the ball in his hands. It was all on him to make a play, make a shot, or find a teammate who was open so they could knock down a shot. And one more thing I do want to touch on, when it comes to the Last Dance documentary, it's been kind of painted as a Jordan puff piece that downplays Scottie, discredits him, and really rewrites history. And I think that's completely false. The Last Dance, yes, had some problems, but really start to finish did a very good job of covering the entire Bulls team, every player's low moments, as well as their peaks. And in regards to Pippen, I mean, they could have gone really, really hard on this dude, because there's tons of moments where he failed Jordan, didn't show up, or made boneheaded mistakes. Of course, 88 versus Cleveland fouling out that game, that was kind of a bonehead mistake. The very next year, 1989 versus the Knicks, in a Game 6 in Chicago, Pippen, prior to the fourth quarter, got kicked out of the game for fighting, and of course, forced Jordan to close the game, win the game, by himself. The very next series versus the Pistons, also in a Game 6, this time down 3-2, got injured 30 seconds into the game with an elbow via Bill Laimbeer, once again forcing Jordan to really go 1-on-5 versus the bad boy Pistons, the eventual champions. And of course, 1990 Game 7, an eerily similar thing versus the bad boy Pistons, and this game of course was the migraine game.
Sally, Aguirre, Rodman, Thomas.
Oh, that's not good.
For fans to say the Last Dance was too critical of Scottie Pippen, I actually think it's the exact opposite. They could have highlighted more bonehead plays from Scottie, more bonehead mistakes from him, but they simply didn't. What it comes down to Pippen and Jordan is that really prior to 1991, Pippen was an evolving project of Jordan, building him up to the best sidekicks in the NBA. As of course, Jordan from day one really was that guy, even looking back at 1986. And even looking at those battles versus the Pistons, Jordan really every series played phenomenal, fantastic, and a superstar level. The one thing he didn't have though was a reliable second option, which of course would become Scottie. And look, give Pippen tons of credit, but 1991 this dude was a bona fide all-star and a borderline top 10 player. A lot of guys in Pippen's shoes, they would have buckled and cracked and really faltered under the pressure of someone like Michael Jordan, who was a very demanding teammate.
The moment came to him, and he was above the moment itself.
And once again, to give Pippen tons of credit, this guy from 91-94, I mean, the ideal wing player, defender, he could score 20-22 points per game, but really could do everything at a moderately high level. Now, that right there, that is prime Pippen, peak Pippen at his best. And here's my problem with that. A lot of media figures, a lot of anti-Jordan people, they act like Pippen at his prime 91-94 with Scottie from 88 to 98. And of course, looking at young Scottie, we know this guy from day one wasn't an all-star or top 10 player, even in 1988, a top 50 player. And even looking at the second three-peat, Scottie's overall value and impact compared to the first three-peat was noticeably down. As looking at the overall numbers, his scoring, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, field goal percentage, three percentage, even free throw percentage were all down compared to the first three-peat. And I think the biggest reason for that wasn't Pippen's overall ability, his age, even the fatigue of being a champion year in, year out. Why Scottie declined so fast was of course due to injuries like most players. As of course, like in 96, he had a very shaky finals, battling an ankle injury. They would carry over 1997, where again, he'd hurt that ankle in the Eastern Conference Finals. And of course, 1998, we all know this, the back injury, he was debilitated, and really shelved himself by the NBA Finals.
My back! My neck and my back! Oh!
At this point, Scottie Pippen, he's gotten tons and tons of credit, and credit for things he really never did or never had to do, because of course, he was playing alongside Michael Jordan, the greatest player in NBA history. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.